Warrior One Yoga, the brand, just turned 11. So this studio we're in now, Brighton, turned 11. The Mordialloc studio turned 8, and Mornington actually turned 5 in January. I thought it was 4, but actually it was 5. So it is crazy. That's 24 years in total of communities and yoga, countless classes. I can't even catch up anymore of how many classes we've run over the last 11 years. But it all did start in Brighton, and Blanche actually came to the first ever studio down the street on New Street 11 years ago.
Yes, I practiced there for a long time. Crazy.
Yeah. How full circle it's come.
Absolutely.
And I just love that we still have members to this day who have been practicing here for over a decade. So I guess what we're talking about today is the journey of the last 11 years, and I guess what's ahead as well, which is an exciting chapter. So for those of you that did come to the OG studio, it was honestly a little hole in the wall. You had to go down the stairs. It was technically underground. It flooded quite a few times. It was a challenging few years. We outgrew the space very quickly, but it was really, really humble beginnings. And fun fact, that studio was meant to be a hobby. It was meant to be a hobby where Dustin and I, my business partner at the time, worked our full-time jobs and ran the studio. And I very, very quickly realized, and when I say quickly, 1 week, I realized that was absolutely not possible. And I threw myself all in. And honestly, it was the most challenging yet exponential growth I think I've ever experienced, because owning a business is all encompassing. You wear all the hats, you are completely snowed under with work, and you are so dedicated to it. I used to be there from 5:30 in the morning for the first class at 6 a.m. all the way through till the last class that finished at 8:30 and get home. And in the middle of the day, I used to go to Little Ox and eat all my meals. Little Ox is still there. You went there today.
I went there today.
And eat all my meals there. And on the days they weren't there, they said to me, "What did you eat today?" Like they were quite concerned that if I wasn't eating there, they probably knew I wasn't eating. So it was honestly that for quite a while, until later along the line, Mordialloc came. And that was really due to wanting to run a yoga teacher training. And so that studio was just born out of, you know, the space was perfect. It was also Bayside, which we really loved. It wasn't too far away down the coast. I guess the locations have been quite intentional. And we were so lucky to have a dedicated yoga teacher training space where we run both our 200-hour and our yin training. And we've been running those for 8 years. So actually that's how we started the Mordialloc studio. We welcomed the YTTs in for the first round of graduations, which Nat Commons, who is honestly, you know, one of the pieces of furniture of this Warrior One. She did her first teacher training with us and now runs the teacher training. So her journey's been really amazing to watch. And then, of course, after that came Mornington, which by that time you moved from Brighton.
And I went to the launch of Mornington, and
Did you?
Yeah, I was. So it's been like full circle.
Crazy. And then 5 years of Mornington. So it's been such a huge journey, 11 years, and I'll go into little episodes more about the specific things of the highs and the lows and everything in between. Particularly, you know, we've had COVID and we've had many other challenges over the last 11 years, but I think mostly it's been growth and expansion and community, and that's been really amazing. I'm really, really proud to say that I'm now the solo owner of Warrior One Yoga, so that's been a huge thing in the last 12 months. And, you know, while I've absolutely loved my business partnerships over the years and they've helped me grow and evolve so much, it feels really nice now to be in this new phase. So for me this year, my word was grounded, as you know, and I guess that's trickled through into the business, just goes without saying. And I guess our goal of Warrior One this year has been to be more grounded and more intentional. Have you seen that play out?
Absolutely. And I think, you know, Nova and I have talked about this a lot. You can just say yes to everything, every opportunity that comes your way without being intentional about what is really important. And I think we've just really made a decision that we just pulled back on that, and we give time and more thought, and we say yes to the things that, you know, we really want to say yes to. Like, is it a hell yes? You know,
we do say that.
Is it a full body yes? We talk about this a lot. And if it's not, we don't do it. And then I think as well as that, focusing on, the main heart of the business, which is in studio and the yoga and the teachers, because that's what we are.
Yes.
And sometimes you just do need to kind of stop and just go, hey, let's focus on what's right here in front of us and what's the most important thing.
I think back to the first, particularly probably the first, I'm going to say 9 years, the first 9 years. But no, honestly, the first real initial years, we did literally say everything. Yes to everything, every single thing. And that definitely contributed to growth. And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
But that also led to my personal burnout, which I've spoken a little bit about socially and on the podcast, that it burns you out. You can't physically and mentally do everything. It's actually impossible. So it's been really beautiful this year to really be quite intentional. And like B said, one of our major focuses has been on the teachers and the classes.
Yep.
And we look at this with a microscope.
We do. We absolutely do. And I don't think people realize that, like every Monday, for all of you out there wondering what I do on a Monday, it is like I am looking at the week before. I'm looking at every single class, the numbers. I'm writing reports and looking at everything. And we do that because we need to know, where we can improve, where there's room to add things, remove things, like where are we not hitting the mark? And it's a constant puzzle all the time. But yeah, we look so closely at all these things and the metrics and everything. And then every month as well, it's like a whole,
Analysis.
Thing again, and yeah, we put so much thought into the schedule. It's so important.
And I think what's interesting with the modern world that we live in, and if you do live in a major city, like Melbourne is a huge city, it moves fast. And this is the thing, particularly with AI and technology really moving quite quickly. We're moving fast, but yoga is a grounding, slow practice. So there's this like dance that we're always doing between the two of like, we need, as a business, we need to iterate quickly and make changes quickly. And that's something we've learned.
Yes.
In the past, you think, let's give it time. Let's see how it does. Maybe these classes are performing, And we've been kind of slow to respond, so to speak, because that's the world we're in. We're into mindfulness and calm. But actually in the yoga world and in business world, we do need to make fast changes. And that's something that, you and I work quite closely on and constantly do. So it's quite interesting. It's grounded and rooted in, making sure we're making intentional timetable teacher changes or additions. A lot of additions we're making at the moment. But also doing it in a really systematic, analytical approach.
Yeah, I mean, we take the stress so that the community doesn't, so that you guys all feel good and relaxed, really. Yeah. So,
One of the major things that we love is feedback. And thankfully, we do get a lot of it, whether we're in studio or behind the scenes with, phone or email. And it is really helpful. And that also helps us shape decisions. We also do lots of surveys and really kind of look out to what we're doing. We also really make sure that our booking platform and all those kinds of like little bits and pieces are seamless. So then from, the time that you're home booking to the time that you're in studio experiencing the class and everything in between feels like this kind of wave.
Yeah. You want it to be easy, right? Yeah.
Ease.
So ease, yeah, absolutely. Life's stressful enough.
Life is stressful enough. That's why I come to yoga. Actually, this morning I was talking to some members out the front and they were saying, I love yoga. I just feel so yoga stoned right now. And I said to them, how do people exist without this practice? I honestly don't know. I think as a business owner, I try and get to a minimum of 2 to 3 classes a week. Sometimes that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But on the weeks that I come every other day or sometimes every day, if I have a more spacious week, it's life-changing. I feel like my creativity is more open. I feel like I'm a better human being to the people around me, including you.
No, she's always a good human. That's okay.
But no, it does shape and impact your own personal life as well as your own, of course, physical body. But the ripple effect of yoga, I think, is what's quite phenomenal about this practice.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, I think people are probably wondering what's next. and,
What's
what
next?
exciting things have we kind of got coming, because we're always looking to evolve. But we're yoga purists at the end of the day.
I think that's something I've talked about quite a bit, is that in the last couple of years, there's been a big shift to Pilates.
Yes.
A lot of yoga studios, I understand it, they've kind of moved to adding, reformer or mat Pilates to the schedule. Trust me, we've played with the idea.
Talked about it a
We've
lot.
talked about it a lot. But we've intentionally decided not to.
Yeah.
We've intentionally decided to stay yoga centric, because what B said, we want to be yoga purists. We want to offer the most amount of yoga classes we can in a week, and that's 150 classes across this,
a lot. Yeah.
across every single week across the 3 studios.
Yeah.
And that's what's important to us. So what's next is definitely more yoga. It's Thailand, our Thailand retreat, which has been running since 2015.
It's crazy.
And our teacher training. So they're kind of our focuses, although we are looking at adding a few more locations.
Yeah, like maybe, top secret overseas destinations that we won't say yet. But yeah, we've got things that we're definitely looking forward to.
Doing some retreat
doing some
scouting.
things, yeah.
And I guess looking at these specialty classes, that's something
Yes.
we've really been focusing on.
Absolutely.
We're introducing breath work, specialized breath work into the studios, more sound healing, which is really beautiful, which has making a big presence at all 3 studios, and just some other little things like Reiki. What else are we doing that's behind the scenes?
Yeah, I think it's just what we said before. It's like keeping it yoga centric, but then sprinkling in,
Magic.
Yeah. And sometimes they're not necessarily going to be offerings that we'll have every week. It could just be, a series, like an 8-week series, and these are things that we're really loving at the moment. It's like, let's do something exciting, but just do it in short blocks.
Yeah.
And, also moving with the seasons, which is something we talk about a lot. Like
more
Melbourne
seasonal,
is so
seasonal timetables.
It's like we go into a little hermit in winter, and then we're kind of out spring, summer, all the things, and our body feels different. And what clients want is different. And so we really look at that as well. And so you'll notice that we often get emails, oh, why is this class gone? It's like, it's seasonal, like things fluctuate, right? We want to stay in bed a bit later. Because it's really dark and it's cold and all the things. So
it's cold.
There's always method behind things, which
very intentional.
It's intentional.
It's intentional and grounded.
Yes.
So yes, as we've mentioned, we are a small team on the back end. However, we are very community led. We're heart led. We make decisions based on what our community and what our teachers provide to us. And that's really what's important to us. So in saying that, if you have any, please pass it on. I hope this helped give you a bit of an overview of the last 11 years in under 10 minutes, and then what's to come. So thank you.
Thanks.
If you loved today's episode, please subscribe, leave us a review, and share with your friends. If you'd like to learn more about what we do, visit warrior1yoga.com.au and follow us on socials. We'll see you on the yoga mat.